Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman, and Eli and Jen have decided to not continue playing Blue Reflection, and I fully respect their decision. I personally believe in excising the good out of a piece of work that is otherwise really bad, so I will press on. Normally, this idea manifests itself in us continuing to play Septerracore for 11 weeks after gestures vaguely at all of their game design decisions. But in this instance, it's going to be finding a way to enjoy the Persona-like with the interesting progression system starring magical girls with a whole lot of canon lesbian representation, in spite of its incredibly squicky presentation of its minors. This is not excusing the content of the game at all, but an acknowledgement thereof and a plea for developers to do better. Since I am down to co-hosts, I am, for the rest of the series, being joined by some of our Discord stalwarts. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, you guys.
Okay, I guess I can go first.
Go for it.
Desert Stream. I play RPGs sometimes, and I'm a bit slow at completing them, but yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Also, I use she, her pronouns, by the way.
Yes. This game, luckily for you, is really easy to 100%, so even if you are 100%ing the game, you won't get too far behind us.
Yeah, I've been trying.
Yeah.
I should probably turn my phone down.
All right, and what about you, other disembodied voice? Who are you?
I am Epsi of Cerebral Wind. I am a DID system. I've been playing RPGs pretty much since I was 6, when my aunt introduced me to The Legend of Dragoon. Legend of Dragoon is also coincidentally how I found this podcast in the first place. And now I'm introducing my roommate to it. But yeah. Nice. Started playing Blue Reflection at the beginning of this week. Caught up to where we were in Blue Reflection at the middle of this week. And yesterday was very tiring.
Yeah? What happened yesterday?
So I was taking the bus around here for the very first time to get to my, as a kind of dry run, to get to my new job training site for CVS. Mm-hmm. And Google Maps decided to take me on a 15-minute walk down a pitch-black, forested, barely civilized, sidewalkless road. Felt like I was walking straight into a scene from Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I've been having a lot of trouble with Google Maps lately. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it doesn't register bridges right, I've noticed.
So I have been having completely mundane, stupid first world problems with Google Maps, so I've also not been using them. And that issue is if you're connected to your car, it will try and play your directions as a Bluetooth call so that it will come over better and pause all of your other stuff. My car sucks with Bluetooth. It has like a 5-second latency on Bluetooth. And so if the Bluetooth call is less than 5 seconds, which of course it is because they're just saying turn right, all it will pause my music. I'll hear Siri for half a second be like, tip. And then it'll cut off because the call will be over, and it will pick up that the call has hung up, but not play the contents of the call in its entirety. And so it sucks really bad, and I hate it. So I've been using Apple Maps because it doesn't pause my music. It just will play the sound over the Bluetooth headphones like it's supposed to. And yeah, that's why I haven't been using Google Maps.
Yeah, my roommate had mentioned that I should try Apple Maps, and I just kind of held up my Android phone with this look of, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm I'm trying to remember what one of the other ones is, but the only other one I can think of is Waze, which was bought by Google Maps, so it will probably still suck. But you might look into that one. I know for a while, Google Maps just was running both of them because Alphabet is stupid, and the Android equivalent of iMessage is 7 apps. There are 7 different Google branded chat apps, and it's bonkers to me. I can't understand it. And they do that a lot. And so I think the Waze ecosystem and the Google Maps ecosystem don't actually talk to each other. So you might actually get better work through Waze. So it might be something to try out.
I will look into that.
Yeah. Waze is Waze, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, since this is your first time here, the what were you up to this week doesn't really that would include every week of your whole life, and I'm not going to sit here and make you tell me your entire life story. So unless you had something you wanted to add, Desert Stream, we can just get started.
I don't think so. I think we can move on.
Cool. So let's listen to some more of the phenomenal music for this game, and then dive into the plot of the week. So, chapter 4 starts, and we're coming to school one morning. It's funny. I will say the next morning sometimes, and I will say things like that, but this game doesn't have the calendar from Persona. You can go to sleep as many times as you want. You can go dates with everyone every day, ad infinitum, every chapter. So the next day might be like a week later for you or for me. So it's the timeline of this game will just be this happens when next plot happens, not necessarily the next day. So the next day we're going to school, and Hina sees that the Citrus Sisters haven't shown up for school yet that day, so she's trying to kill some time surfing on her phone, but she's interrupted by this girl named Akko, who knows that something weird is going on with Hina, and so she asks straight out, "Are you a magical girl?" And before Hina can even make up an excuse, Akko then asks a whole bunch of follow-up questions that shows that she's just shooting blindly into the dark to try and figure out what Hina's deal could be. Hina asks Akko why she thinks that something's up with her, and Akko says that it's because Hina is friends with the Citrus Sisters, and they're super weird and mysterious. And like, apparently they just started always existing in class one day. Like, they didn't have a hey, these are our new students. They just showed up, and the seats in the back were full one day, and they really don't know why. And if they look back at pictures of the entrance ceremony, they weren't there. Everyone always thinks of them as part of the class, and they've always been there, but there's proof that they weren't, and it's weird. So Akko asks Hina to help her stalk Yuzu and Lime to see what they're up to. And so they have a whole day of stalking, but they find out not a zilch, nothing. Akko then is like, we'll follow them home and see what happens then. But when they get to the gate of the school, a super fancy car pulls up, and a man inside is like, Akko, what the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be hurrying home. Why are you out here chilling with your friends? Come home right now. And Akko is like, sorry, got a blast. She gets in the car and goes home. The next day, Akko doesn't show up to school. Hina goes to a culture club meeting, and she overhears the NPC girls. We'll come back to them. The NPC girls are not named, and they have mini scenes this week. But she hears the NPC girls saying that Akko has gone missing and that the teachers are all freaking out about it. Hina is like, oh, I need to, like, Akko is nominally my friend. I have no friends, so someone I spend the day with counts as a friend. So she runs off to try and find her, and like every girl that goes rampant in the school, Akko is hiding on the roof. When she gets to the roof, Akko has already gone rampant, so she's like, well, the Citrus sisters aren't here, but I need to help her. So she jacks into the Matrix anyways, but when she gets there, Yuzu and Lime are already there with her. Apparently, because the reflectors are all tied together, if one person jacks in, everybody like gets a notification and that they can jack in as well. And so they don't have to always be physically together, but if they jump into the common, everybody can still be there to help fight. A convenient, we don't need to write a reason for all three these characters to be there every single time, but you can use them in battle. So you walk around the non-dungeon and find her fragment and defeat the demons still around it, but it still won't stabilize. Yuzu says that Hina needs to try to help her IRL so that she can then stabilize the fragment. Back in the real world, Hina learns that Akko's father is super duper strict, and Akko is trying hard to be be a good daughter, and so she's following into line and doing what he wants, even though his plan for her doesn't line up with the dream that she has. Hina's like, well, you should tell your father your dreams. Like, you don't know for sure how he'll react. Living this double life is getting to you. You obviously, like, this isn't working. You should at least try and talk to your parent. And she's like, you know what? Fine. And the fragment stabilizes. So Hina gives her ring, which apparently every time someone puts on a ring, the memories of them going rampant and them resolving it via reflectors, those memories transfer to them. All of our friends so far have been like, oh, cool, magic and demons are a thing. Whatever, I'm late for class. But Akko is like, oh my god, Hina is a reflector. I fucking knew it. And many L's were OL'd. Then we get a free time, and we can go on a bunch of dates with our harem of girlfriends. And after all of that, Yuzu and Lime tell us that a girl has been trying to get a hold of us, so we go to meet her on the roof. Her name is Shihori, and her problem is that she's been asked out by a whole bunch of dudes, which has made her really unpopular with girls because the girls think that she's just showing off that she can steal everyone's boyfriend and then break their hearts. And apparently Shihori always will make a new friend, then teach them makeup, give them a makeover, make them both hot. Then they go be hot out around the town. The boys flock to two of them, but they end up falling for Shihori and not the other girl. So everyone feels like Shihori is using the other girls to make herself look better. One of the girls in class sees them talking and starts to go off on Shihori for breaking little hearts like the one in me, and Shihori goes rampant. In the commons, they aren't in the fear zone or the anger zone, but in the sad zone. So they're like, what the fuck is even going on? We know nothing about this girl, and we weren't expecting her to be sad right now. So how can we help? And the answer, of course, as always, is we help by using our swords on the demons' faces that are attacking her. After the fight, Hina grabs the fragment and feels that Shihori does really just love makeup and making people beautiful. She's like Rarity in My Little Pony. She just loves fashion and makeup and beautifulness, and she wants the whole world to be beautiful, and it's a pure thing. And she's sad because no one is recognizing that, like, she pours her heart and soul into helping everybody. They're only focusing on the boys, which is always the problem. Never focus on the boys. back IRL, we tell Shihori that she can't let people's reactions to boys' reactions to her being pretty to make her give up on makeup. If she truly does it for herself and does it for to help other people, if she stays true to that, the truth will come out, and she can't control people's misunderstandings of her motives, but she can always be true to herself. So then we go on a bunch of dates with our friends. Then one day after all of that, we see Yuzu and Lime in the hallway arguing. Lime is trying to fast track their whole spiel, and Yuzu doesn't like her methods. Yuzu ends up running off, and so Hina comes up to Lime to apologize for stalking her, and Lime is like, I don't fucking care what happens to these earthling bitches, basically. And Hina is like, what the fuck? And Lime says, just rely on the Citrusters and everything will go smoothly. At Culture Club, they hear rumors that there's a thief going around the school, and all of the NPC girls blame the one girl with character design named Chihiro, who is a girl of few words, and she is buckling under the pressure. Hina steps in to tell them that you can't just blame people without evidence, breaks up their little spat, and saves the day for Chihiro. The next day, Hina's harem, not the Citrus Sister friends, but all the other ones, invite Chihiro out to lunch, and Chihiro gives Hina a plushie she made herself as thanks, which then unlocks the side quest to find them all over the school for trophies. We invite Chihiro out after school, but she doesn't show. Sure enough, she's about to go rampant on top of the school, like everyone does. The NPC girls are yelling at her for stealing, and when Hina tries to break it up, they yell some really ableist stuff about Hina's leg just to be mean little bitches. Hina's like, what the fuck? And then Lime come in, is like, hey, this wasn't the deal. Please don't pick on Hina. Just focus picking on Chihiro so that she'll go rampant. And Hina's like, what the fuck? And turns out that one of the mean girls is the thief, and she was trying to frame Chihiro. And this makes Chihiro go rampant, like once that comes to light. And Lime is like, weird. I really thought the girl whose life I'm trying to ruin would be the one that's going rampant, but whatever. We just need a fragment, so this works. And she jumps into the common, and Yuzu and Hina are like, what the fuck, Lime? You fucking suck, I guess, but let's go and save people in the commons anyways. Yuzu lays into Lime for being a little bitch, and Lime is like, look, we're here to stop the Sephiroth. We are not here to make friends. Strong emotions create fragments, which is what we need. I was just helping create strong emotions and trying to hurt people so that they would go rampant. And Yuzu was like, that's fucking stupid. These are people. And Lime is like, I don't give a shit. So reluctantly, we go find the fragment, and we hear Chihiro's thoughts, and she feels responsible for causing everyone to fight for some reason, and that's why she went rampant. So we go back to the real world to talk her down IRL, but one of them big-ass nasty demons shows up for us to have a big-ass boss fight. It's basically a demon turtle centaur made out of guns. Basically,
that is a very good description of it. Yes,
it's huge. The boss fight is great. It's really easy to keep the guns broken and like keep a handle of it. But if at ever one moment you do the wrong thing and you break out of the easy part, the giant guns hurt apparently, and things can go south real fast. So it's not necessarily hard, but it is like intense, because if you fuck up real hard. After the fight, Lime is like, what do you fucking do? Just give the girl the ring already. I don't fucking care. And Yuzu and Hina are like, what the fuck is your deal? We don't approve of the way that you're doing this. And Lime, instead of being like, you know what, I should treat people as humans, she's like, then just call me when you need to go to the commons, and me and Mr. Bear will like fuck some shit up for you, whatever, and storms off. So we give the ring to Chihiro and finish out the chapter and draw some big red question marks in Sharpie all around Lime, because what the fuck is her whole deal? The next interlude is about this really cute girl who plays the piano, and she does her practicing in death marches, which is basically crunch. And Hina is like, this is a good idea. And Yuzu is like, no, it's not. The interlude is cute, but I'm cutting it for time. The last interlude is a little bit cooler, still pretty basic. Interludes are like you do the same things you do in a regular chapter. It's just the plot is not very important. But the last one, there's these two different girls who are in a track and field. I forget their names, Kaori and Rika, I believe. But
That sounds right.
They're in track and field and they're good friends, but they are they're like having a spat at each other. And they mention a third girl, Miki, I believe, that they look up to. That is a track superstar. All like one of them, because I can't even know. I don't even know if I have their names right, so I cannot tell you which one it is. But one of them is like, she's so awesome, I need to get better to beat her. And the other one is like, she's so awesome, we can take it easy and we'll still win state. It's fine, no big deal. And so their spats are related to their relationship with Miki. Yuzu and Hina are like, there's something going on there. We should like keep an eye on them. See, these are strong emotions. They'll probably end up going rampant. And then the next day, they find out that there's been a peeping Tom in the locker room that's been like spying on people, and everyone is upset because that's gross. And they're trying to figure out who it is. Long story short, it turns out to be Miki, that third girl who's never makes an appearance in this chapter. She's just there by name. But it turns out to be the third girl, and the news drives the first two girls to rampancy. We want to skip a few into the commons, and there are loads of fragments everywhere, like hundreds. Basically all of the girls on the track team and everyone who uses the locker room is skeeved out by the fact that there's a peeping Tom, and a lot of them are let down that it's the star track player. So we get to stabilize, by stabilizing these two girls, we basically stabilize 30 fragments at once, which is kind of cool. But we get out there and we basically tell them idolizing people is a bad thing. Don't do that. And they're like, you know what? Bet. And they stabilize. They join our friendship circle, and then we go on a lot of dates with them. And that's where we end for the week. This game is kind of light on plot, but it's very slice of life anime style. It literally feels like watching Pretty Cure, which is awesome. And
yeah, and all the interludes and stuff, they like focus on individual characters, so they don't really tie into like the greater plot.
Yeah. The ones marked chapter give you greater plot stuff. The interlude stuff is all character moments. If more things happened per week, we would probably completely skip the interludes and just save them for memorable moments, but not enough things happen. So yeah, so let's listen to some more kick-ass Blue Reflection music, and then we'll talk about our memorable moments. So yeah, what are some of you guys' memorable moments?
Do you want to go first?
Desert Stream, I think they were talking to
you. Yeah, I guess I did like the piano interlude. I thought it was pretty sweet. And like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I really like in that one. I love the girl. I can't remember her name now because Fumio, you said?
Fumio.
Yeah.
Fumio, yeah.
Fumio is great because she doesn't know how to have internal thoughts. She speaks her mind 100% as if she's thinking to herself. It's like her keyboard key doesn't have the parentheses on it, so she doesn't know how to whisper to herself. And she's just constantly speaking out loud, and it's adorable, and I love her.
She's great. I love a lot of the characters in this game. They're all... Yeah. Most of them are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they have like a really good dynamic.
Yeah. Any other particulars? I know that you actually played it and got caught up the week that we recorded the first episode because you were going to pop in there, and then we had a 4-week break. So I know it's probably been a while since you played it. But do you remember anything else that popped out that you liked?
The boss fights are pretty cool. Like the big ones in the not common. Because, they're kind of a different scale than the ones in the common. Mm-hmm. You're doing more damage for some reason.
The reason is all of your friends at school are there helping you. And so their power of friendship is making your number go up. And
yeah, right.
And then they also have, that's where you get to use their follow-up attacks, which is super fun. And so you'll do something and it'll pop up Atelier style. Oh, do you want to use so-and-so special move? Press circle now or whatever. And so after you do your attack, they'll come along and do their special move, which is pretty great. Epsi, I know you have a ton, as you said, in host chat, so you can go ahead and dive in, and we'll riff off of yours if we remember stuff.
Okay, so the very first memorable moment doesn't actually come from the game itself. It comes from me taking notes about the game. Mm-hmm. The very first bullet point is, I love Sanae, that's it. And then the very next bullet point is, I have suddenly stopped loving Sanae, because that's around the time she went rampant.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here what the fuck?
Yeah. Just playing the opening of the game, because I had asked Summer if she wanted to play it with me, and she's like, I just want to chill right now. I don't really want to be on a schedule. She has no idea how I can make myself play a certain number of hours of video games 3 times a week, and I don't really know either. So she's like, no, I don't want to be a part of any of that. And so I played the beginning. I'm like, okay, you at least have to come and watch this, because what the fuck? And you're just hanging out, being a kid in school, and then Sanae evil laughs and gets a evil purple aura, and it's a great first start to the game.
You're just vibing at your new school, and then suddenly the first friend you meet turns into Demon King Piccolo. It's weird.
Yeah.
The game definitely gets a bit weird at points, not even just because of the actual weird stuff, just because of the plot is just there's a lot of really unexpected stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my lines I have here that I wrote down for memorable moments is, who cares? I don't know either of you. How am I supposed to figure out your love life for you?
Yeah, I love that part. Because it's It's what I have longed to say to many a person who has asked me for help. Like one of my friends, like we are very, very close, but our circles only overlap on a single point, and that is each other. I don't know any of her friends. She doesn't know any of mine, and she's always like, "Yeah, so I was talking with so and so the other day, and she was talking to so and so, and they were blah blah blah." And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't know these people.
It's also a pretty good subversion of like the trope where every NPC just immediately assumes that you can solve all their problems.
Mm-hmm. And it being the second, I think her story is the first interlude, so I think it's like the second time you get this. It's like, no, we're not doing all that. This game is more different than just being solving everyone's problems.
Yeah, Hina just has a very unique way of solving people's problems, and on more than one occasion it's been looking at them and going, "Shut the fuck up!"
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, she really she stands up for herself, and it's kind of great.
Yeah,
because it's not what I'm used to, and there's a part of me that's like, oh, why are you saying that? But it works out. It's realistic.
Yeah. The next thing I have written here is Yuzu being like, "That's right, Lime and I are reflectors too," and then Hina just looking at them like, "What the hell are you?"
Yeah, Hina has a lot of good like reaction shots the whole time. Like on a scale of like, I was trying to pick magical girls that do it right away, and then like Madoka, who takes a while to actually be a magical girl, but I can't think of what the zero is. But she is right in the middle, where she's like, "Oh, I'm a magical girl. That like, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do." She's not diving in right away, and then suddenly she's superhero about it, but she doesn't like beat around the bush very long. It's a very, very good balance of her being like, I don't fucking know what any of this is. You're not telling me what any of this is. I just want my friends to stop crying, so I'm going to go do that. You guys can be aliens from another dimension or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. The third bullet point I have here just says "that bear is a stand" in all caps.
Yeah. I love Mr. Bear
Mr.
so
Bear
much.
is so good.
In the first episode playthrough, the first time each girl transforms, you get to watch their magical girl transformation. And Limes, she grabs Mr. Bear and hugs him, and from the hug, her magical girl stuff grows around her, and it's super awesome. And I'm like, oh my god, this is great. And then you start the battle, and she fights with Mr. Bear. So I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. Oh my god, we get to use Mr. Bear in battle. And then I use his first special move. I'm like, oh my god, he grows giant and he can use laser eyes. I love him.
He can also just jump up into the air and banana slam at them from 50 feet up.
Yeah.
And make copies of himself with one of his abilities.
Yeah.
Like, it's like every JoJo stand put into one tiny stuffed animal.
Yeah. I definitely distinctly remember that too, because I was in a VC with my friend at the time, and I was like screen sharing, and I was like, oh my god, she's going to fight with the bear.
It's so good. I was talking with Epsi and like private chat, talking about like our builds and whatnot, and I was like, oh, I have everyone super fast and hitting really hard, because on the first turn Yuzu can use this attack all move, and then Hina will use this attack all move, and then if there's anyone left, Mr. Bear will say, no, there isn't. And that's basically my whole relationship with Mr. Bear, is he just shows up to destroy everything, and I love him.
Yeah, my response to his message that said that was, Mr. Bear says a lot of things. Most of them end in, and then you die.
Yeah.
The next thing I have written here is, one of the enemies, and I think it was it who came right after Rin? Was that Sarasa?
I think so. I think it was Sarah.
Yeah, one of the enemies in Sarasa's zone had an attack called Thwack, and I felt my heart drop because Dragon Quest.
Yes.
I'm like, this thing is not about to insta-kill me in the third dungeon.
Yeah, thankfully, they are not the same move.
Yeah, but I just had a moment of, like, my face got clammy, my heart sunk into my stomach, and I'm just like, oh, God. Oh, okay, I did like 70 damage. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the difficulty has definitely not been, like, super difficult so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hardest fight that I've had so far was that second Saphira, and even then it was nothing.
Yeah.
Raccoon Nail deals like 300 damage to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Especially because, like, it's so easy to want to go and hang out with all of your friends, and that hanging out with your friends gets you so much, not experience points, but whatever the background number go up that goes up enough to then let you level up. And
Bond
so
points
you just
growth points, yeah.
Yeah. And so when you have they make number go up so high that you really want to do it because you just want to hang out with these characters. And then you go into the common and they had to scale everything to be for people who only did the bare minimum. And our bear is maximum, and he wipes the floor with everything.
Yeah, I've actually been trying to, like, avoid grinding just to make it, like, a little bit more difficult for myself.
Yeah, but it's so, like, I only, like, this game's equivalent of grinding did once because what's her face? Shihori. She is a straight up lesbian, and she has a lesbian crush on Hina, and so all of her dates are her, like, straight up being like, hey, we should go out, and, like, I mean go out and let's go be doing dates. And I'm like, that's really cute. I want to see, like, where this continues to go. And so I have her maxed out because I wanted to see her whole thing. And that's a whole lot of going to school, talking to her, taking her to some random shrine, going home, studying, coming back, doing the same thing. And if you choose to, if you go to bed by way of studying or preparing for tomorrow or exercising, I think those all give you skill points the next day. So because I was chasing her bond, which gives you level ups, and I was preparing for school, which give you stat ups, Hina she just kills everything constantly, and it'll probably never be hard. I might bump up the difficulty to actual hard from the menu, but I might just take it sleazy and beat everything in one turn.
Yeah, my Hina's got like 300 or 400 HP right now because of that.
Yeah.
She is like, I've built her to be completely balanced. I've built Yuzu for full support, and I've got Lime's attack at like 23.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing.
And, like, I've also got the fragments on Lime that boost her attack and defense automatically. And, yeah, Lime hits like a truck, and then I typically just have Hina there to throw Mercuricord Caprico. I'm probably butchering that at Lime, and then have Yuzu throw Opportune Lychee, which boosts luck at Lime, and then everything gets crit and takes like 300 damage per attack.
Yeah.
And there was one fight that I did in, I think it was Rika and Kaori's dungeon, where there were 4 demons on the field, and across all 4 of them, Mr. Bear did like 6,000 damage.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, one thing I like about this game's easiness is it always like makes you feel really cool for doing like all we're doing is pressing Mr. Bear please kill and Mr. Bear kills and it still feels awesome. Like
Oh, yeah.
I did that. I made Mr. Bear make this game piddly easy for me.
Yeah. Next up on my list here is the conversation that you brought up right toward the beginning between Akko and Hina. Akko being like, "Are you a magical girl?" and Hina being like, no. Do you want to tell me how you got to that point? And Akko being like, "You're new, you're mysterious, and you hang out with weirdos. That's all I've got."
Therefore, question mark, magical girl.
By that logic, I could be a magical girl.
Right?
I think a lot of people I know could. The next bullet point on here just says bread emotes.
Oh my god, I forgot to bring the bread emotes up last time. They are the best part about this game. Like the music is great. The progression system is awesome. The characters are well rounded, but it is canon that Hina has never texted before. She's never really had friends that are into texting. And so Yuzu and Lime are teaching her how to text. And one of the things they teach her is how to use stickers and emotes. And the only ones that Hina picks, for some reason, all are bread. It's like bread with bites out of it that spell LOL. There's just a picture of bread that says okay next to it. There is so much bread, so many emotes. It's fucking amazing.
And they are not happy about it.
Yeah, my very next bullet point just says Hina being a complete rookie with a smartphone was adorable.
Yes, it's so good. And there's one of the characters we meet this time. I don't remember which one it is at all, but she also overuses stickers. So their entire text chain is just bread emote the video game, and it's amazing. It's so good.
I love it. You didn't bring this up when you brought up going to Akko's common zone. But she was in like a weird combo zone that was like fear and sorrow at the same time.
Yeah. So the sorrow zone is normally like ruins on these huge lakes of water. In the fear zone, was it fear or anger? I don't remember. But
no, it was fear and anger. It was the forest with like the weird.
Yeah. So it's the
ground in the magma.
Yeah. So the forest zone for fear is normally a forest, and there's like rivers everywhere. That's the water there. But anger is a cave filled with magma. So them together is like this nice, tranquil, peaceful, spooky forest. But there's just towers of magma pouring everywhere. The rivers are all now magma. It was a really cool zone. I really, really liked the juxtaposition there.
Yeah, I hope they use it more throughout the game because we haven't seen one since that point.
Apparently, they become the norm, and when you go to the commons just for funsies up on the roof, you'll go to the combo zones eventually. Because I was looking up how to get, because I thought I had locked myself out of leveling up a lot of my fragments because they were asking for things from a particular zone, and every time I would go to the common, I would just go to the sorrow zone, and I'm like, can I not choose how to do it? And down the line, eventually you'll go into, like, instead of going into the common, you go to like a hub zone, and that hub zone lets you pick where you want to go out of the cross pollinated ones, and so you go to those later. So they will be very important later down the line. We're just not there yet.
I'm very glad to hear that. The next thing on my document is one of the monsters that I got in Dark Cave, which I had a lot of fun with. And look at him.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't even mention Dark Cave last night, but there's Digimon in this game. Like the phone game that everybody is addicted to is just a Digimon Tamagotchi. And
it's just Digimon.
They put Digimon in my persona about magical lesbians. Like if this game wasn't gross as fuck, it would be great.
Yeah. But yeah, I opened my Dark Cave app and it popped up. It evolved into Whit Monsieur, and I audibly just like, I love him.
He's so good.
Yeah, there's definitely a few good ones.
Cute.
Yeah, for those playing at home, Whit Monsieur is a mushroom with a monocle and a big fancy French mustache, and it's amazing.
I really love the idea of Chihiro making these stuffed animals and then just hiding them around the school for no in-universe reason aside from just she's adorable and she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
I'm
not sure how to progress on that side quest because you get there and I can't interact with them, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah,
or if I'm even doing anything wrong. Or if it's just go and find it, and if you stand close enough to it, the achievement tracks it or whatever, or something. Or it's just an Easter egg. I don't know, but they're everywhere, and I love it.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it. It was probably Fumio because she was the musician. Uh-huh. But no, I think it was Yuzu. But somebody had a really cute delivery of the line, "It's a showtime."
That's great.
And during the interlude, the one that you skipped over for time, after everything's said and done and Fumio is like, saved from going rampant, she's like, Hina, I want you to come and listen to my music again. Just like, so I can have somebody there to bounce off of so that, I can get a second opinion. And before Hina has a chance to answer, Fumio is literally dragging her out of the classroom. And Hina's like, Yuzu, Lime, please help. And they're just kind of standing there looking at each other like,
Yeah, Lime doesn't give a shit about Hina. Lime would never help.
Yeah. I really hope Lime just stops being a mega bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I doubt she's going to, but I don't want my DPS to be a mega bitch.
Right? I don't want her to become the villain of the piece. I hope
if
it's character growth.
Villain, I'm going to lose.
No, it's just her becomes a villain. Mr. Bear gets to stay.
Yay! And then this one I was going to bring up in host chat, and then I realized it would be much more fun to just bring it up on the actual podcast. Mm-hmm. So all of these side quests so far have been helping people with like their own mental issues. Mm-hmm. Like this person is telling herself that she'll be perfectly fine and that there's nothing to worry about, and she's actually just internalizing all of her panic and keeping it from getting out. There's this person that's taking out her anger on the weeds in front of the school and literally eating them. But there's one that you get where it's like, hey, I heard this rumor where if you hiccup 100 times in a row, you die. I'm really worried about this person standing outside the school. Can you go cure her hiccups? And it's like, how in the fuck am I supposed to do that? My hiccups are not a mental issue.
That's so funny.
Do I just comment into her diaphragm? Like, what am I supposed to do about this? But you just go into the comment, you do the same thing you normally do, you walk out and she's like, oh, my hiccups are cured.
Yup, because that makes sense.
That's great.
One more thing I want to bring up is with the table chat stuff, with all the messaging and stuff. Fumio... Oh, no, Shihori. Shihori also thinks out loud via text.
That's amazing.
That's so funny.
She'll be messaging Hina and she'll start messaging what she's thinking, and Hina just messages back like, you even think out loud when you type?
The table chat conversations are so good. I wish there were more of them.
I love them so much.
The thing that like breaks my heart is you don't get a new notification every time one comes in, but when you area transition, it'll pop up on the top of your screen if you have notifications from Digimon, from your chat, from Akko's blog, from Chihori's stuff, or new music or whatever. And that pops up for half a second. So I missed several times where people like would be texting me. And if you go to the next interlude and you have texts waiting for them, they like are mad that you didn't respond. And I'm like, I wanted to, I didn't know. But the UI doesn't really help me know that you texted me, because it doesn't like take you to your unread messages or anything. You just have to scroll through every single chat that you have to find them. And it always makes me so sad when someone's mad at me for not talking to them. And table chat is my favorite thing.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the attention to detail, though. Like it's pretty cool that they like actually implemented that.
Yeah. Another thing is that the options during free time for what to do before you go to bed are prepare for tomorrow, get in the bath, or just go to bed. And then prepare for tomorrow splits off into make lunch or stretch.
Or study can also show up there.
Yeah, there's a few.
There's something else that can be prepare for tomorrow.
Yeah, I've only ever seen make lunch and stretch. But if you make lunch, so far, every time I've done it, it has been Akko interviewing one of your social links during the morning broadcast.
Which is
there was one where she was interviewing Kay, and at the end of it all, she's just like, "Okay, well, that's your morning broadcast. That was a lot." Because Kay just loves to talk, and I love her.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the ones with Kay, with interviewing Kay, is Kay stands up. The microphone is on the desk. You can't hear her, but she's standing up, like, because she has to be like charged while she's talking, and it's fucking great. I love it.
I'm really looking forward to when I go to play the next interlude. Or go to play the next free time, and I go to make lunch, and Shihori ends up on the morning broadcast.
that one's got to be good.
I really want to just see her thinking out loud, like, okay, how am I going to do this? What am I going to say? Is she looking at me weird? I think she's looking at me weird. Does she look at everybody weird? What? And if you stretch, you'll end up in the swimming pool at some point, and that's where your stat boosts go up. Sometimes you'll just be, splashing at each other. Sometimes you'll actually like race K again. Or
they're all so far they've all been unique. I'm sure there's just like 4 per social link or whatever, but they've all been a unique, different thing, and so like it's so weird that like because. Taking a bath is the hint system in the game. Hina will think about her day and think about what she wants to do tomorrow, and that'll give you a hint if you're stuck. But like, not ever doing that to get the stat ups that you get every single time. Even the interviews, you'll get like luck up or something like that. But you'll get stat ups if you prepare for tomorrow. You'll see all these cute little scenes about swimming or walking to school with people or stuff like that. Like there's so much content if you don't ever need help knowing where to go in the game. So don't ever take a bath to get the hint. It's not worth it. Just do the other thing and flail around or look it up on a guide, because all the little bits are amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do I have here? Doing the dates with Sanae, it came to light that she likes rap music.
That's amazing.
Like, she's just this really sweet, cute girl with glasses that's all like, kind of keeps to herself.
The nerd trope.
And then she's just during one of the dates, she's like, "Oh yeah, I want to go show you this artist that I like. Or have you heard about this artist?" And Hina's like, "No, I haven't." And Sanai goes, "Oh, well, they're a rap group. Here, I'll send you a link to one of their songs." And Hina's like, "What?" And at a point, you stop running out of unique randomized locations when you just take them out and not like go on a date. So like the last 3 or 4 times in a row, I've gone out to boost my affection status with Sanai. We've just gone to the bus stop. And it's just been like, "Hey, you're going to invite me out again, right?" Yeah.
You might be maxed, and in which case date someone else. If she gets a new date, she'll have a icon on the map.
Yeah.
Also, bless this game for having such a tiny world map, and you can fast travel to every single room. It makes everything so freaking easy. It is a way smaller of a walkable area than you have in Persona 5, and yet you can warp to every single part of the hallway, every room, everything. It's great.
My favorite part about the fast travel system is that you can just be, in the middle of a cutscene and somebody will say, "Oh, we have to go find this person. Come on, let's go." And then you exit the cutscene, you open up the map, and there's a notice on the map that says, "Hey, they're here."
And that here is the roof. It's always there.
90% of the time, it's the roof.
Yeah, there was one time where you had to find Akko, and she was in her classroom. Other than that, it's been the roof.
It's been the roof, yeah.
See, if you don't want to be attacked by demons, simply don't go to the roof to have big emotions. That's it. Yeah. That's all you need to do.
It also makes the most sense that the gate to the common is on the roof. Because, that's where everybody goes to have an emotional breakdown.
Yeah.
Which, I get it. Mm-hmm. A big, high-up place where most of the time you would probably be alone would be a really good place to have an emotional breakdown. But, everyone in the school?
Yeah.
I feel like they're at a point where they should, maybe stop letting kids on the roof for no reason.
Yeah. Now you need a hall pass, and you have to talk to the school counselor before you're allowed on the roof, just so you can talk yourself down from it.
I actually remember seeing something somewhere in the game. I can't remember where it was, but it was it's the school roof. Students aren't allowed up here, but everyone goes up there anyway.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it then.
It's literally just the roof from Persona 5.
Yeah.
Nobody's supposed to be up there, but we have protagonist energy, so we're allowed to go wherever we want.
Yeah, we do.
The only other thing I have on here is that I love being in the common and just seeing these really beautiful backdrops with spooky trees and rivers of red water and magma flowing everywhere, and then there's just a vending machine in a corner.
Yeah. And the best part is the vending machines are not shops. You can't get anything from the vending machines. It's just Digimon Adventure Hours. There's just some real world everywhere.
Yeah, I have a screenshot in my Google Doc that I was taking notes in. That is a picture of Hina standing in front of a tree, and in the shot you can see a traffic cone, a vending machine, an electrical pole, and a telephone pole, all just in front of this really spooky ambient forest with red plants and red water.
Mm-hmm.
It's so Digimon Adventure, and I love every second of it.
It's so good.
Now I'm realizing I have to play all these games now.
Yes. You should definitely play Digimon World Redigitized, the one for the PSP. It's the good one. Next Order gave us a lot, but took away a lot. And the original Digimon World was proof of concept, so it's not as great. But the middle game there for the PSP that's the good one.
See, the PSP is one of the few systems I do not have.
Don't you have a Vita? You can just...
I do have a Vita, though.
Yeah, so you can just get it on there. And
I know there's like a few PSP games that you can't get on Vita, though.
And I think, now that I'm thinking it out loud, I think that Project Digitize has finished their translation of the 3DS port of that game. So if you have a hacked 3DS, you could also play it there.
Good to know.
Yeah.
As I look across the room at my hacked 3DS.
Yeah, I probably am going to replay that game on the 3DS version, but I put like 90 hours in that game, and it's hard to go back to it. But also, speaking of Persona likes, you should play Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, because those are Digimon Persona likes.
I do have those, actually. I think I have them on Switch, so I'll probably grab them whenever I go home.
Yeah, the Switch version is great because the second game, Hacker's Memory, the side cool of it, they added a whole bunch of Digimon. So the Switch version, because they're running it's basically you pick which events you want to play, and it's the same engine underneath. They added all of the second game's Digimon into the first game, and therefore you can get a lot of really cool shit that you weren't supposed to.
Yeah, they also took away the fact that you have to wait till post game to get certain Digimon in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was not sitting here, minor spoilers, but I was not sitting here grinding a Guilmon for the entire game to be told I couldn't get Gallantmon.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Come on.
Eli and Maddy will never play Digimon. This is the only time I get a gush about Digimon games on this podcast. But those restrictions did make me realize that season 5 Data Squad really wasn't that bad, because Ravenmon is badass, Shine Greymon is badass, Rosemon is badass. Those are the only megas you can get, because all of the fan favorite ones you have to do a post game side quest to unlock,
or you need like 80 ABI for some of the strongest ones. Like,
yeah. And so the ones that were within reach were the ones from that season. And I'm like, you know what? I think I just didn't like the art style. So I went back and watched it, and turns out I just didn't like the art style. Data Squad fucks. You should, if you're a old school Digimon fan and you're like, these aren't chibi anymore, I don't want to watch it, you should watch it. It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah. The first playthrough that Omega did of Cyber Sleuth, he went to the end with Mirage Galgamon Burst Mode.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of sitting there like, I slept on Data Squad. Like, what is this thing?
Yeah. What doesn't rule is Digimon World Data Squad. Don't ever play that game.
We've played and beaten it. It was not a fun time.
Don't do that. But speaking of video games, what else did you like about Blue Reflection?
That covers all of my memorable moments, and some of the notes that I didn't put into my memorable moments because I either forgot or thought they weren't that great.
Awesome.
I know we've played the soundtrack like twice, but it's really good.
The soundtrack is fucking great. Like, and the battle theme starts with just this little like piano, and like every time that happens, I'm just like, oh fuck yeah! And then the heavy Japanese techno bass comes in. I'm just like, I could fuck up the whole goddamn world. It's good.
Yeah. Thinking about the soundtrack, there actually is one more thing that comes to mind. You can play any song from the soundtrack as the background music on your phone, and I think that is amazing.
And
yeah, there's a jukebox.
If you press square on it, you add that to be that then plays Basically, Hina becomes that obnoxious guy that we've all seen on the bus that doesn't have headphones and he's just listening to his music
out loud,
from his phone speaker. You get to make Hina be that person, and it'll just be the background music for all of your social links and stuff, and it's great. I of course picked all of the battle themes because they're really good, and instead of it being a chill time where I'm just talking to my friends, it's like and it's good. It's good shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of the square button, I've been playing on my keyboard, and the controls are kind of weird.
Yeah. I was looking at playing KBM at first, and then I saw what the control layout was like, and I basically said, I'm just gonna walk downstairs and get my PS2 controller. I'm not doing this.
What are the controls on the PC?
So, first of all, the game doesn't tell you anything about the controls, and you can't change any of them. I think like the button you use for like advancing everything is K, and the button to go back is L, and then the menu is I. So it's like JKLI, like that. Those four, and then you have ASDW for
walking
movement.
around.
But then you also have FGHT for the camera, but the camera is really weird and it doesn't work.
God.
And then you also have the arrow keys for the menus. And then you also have Q and E for the shoulder buttons.
Oh God.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. I don't like that.
I do think you can change the controls. You just have to do it on the launcher as opposed to in the actual game.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the first thing I did when I had the launcher pulled up on my computer, which promptly destroyed my old monitor, that's fun, was go into the settings and see what I could futz around with, and I found the controls, and I saw that it was like JKLI and TFGH, and I was like, I'm not even going to try and make this make sense. I'm just going to go get my PS2 controller and plug it into my PC like a plebeian.
Yeah, that's nuts. I don't like that. That hurts my brain.
I don't know why I never like noticed the settings on the launcher before.
You're about to like this game a whole lot more.
Yeah, especially since like the video settings were all messed up too, and I was getting like 10 frames per second.
Yeah, that's weird. Highly recommend playing this game with a controller because that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. Thinking about Lime's transformation again, speaking of the soundtrack, I love the music that plays during hers. It's like this really low, deep, like techno music.
Uh-huh.
It's like Hina's got this really sweet like piano medley going on, and Yuzu's got like upbeat like pop punk kind of like background music, and then Lime's is just like they took the dub out of dubstep.
Yeah.
And like that's all happening while this girl is just hugging onto a bear and exploding into magical girl clothing.
Yeah. It's great. Also, I didn't bring this up last time, and speaking of magical girl transformations, I just remembered it. For some reason, Hina's magical girl transformation changes her into blonde and gives her 2 different colored eyes. No one else does that. I don't know if it'll be important or not, but it's very, very weird that hers is such a drastic physical change and no one else's is.
On the one hand, I can see it being important. I've actually had theories that it was to make her look more like Yuzu and Lime, who are both naturally blonde. But from a mechanic standpoint, from a game design standpoint, I can just see it as the devs being like, hey, protagonist energy go burr.
Yeah. Who knows? But anyone have anything else to say before we wrap this up?
I think I've pretty much covered everything I had.
Dope. So, if you like what you heard today, you can check us out on the web at www.rpgbook.club, where you can donate to help us keep the lights on. Your donations will help unlock our Longcast series. We are currently playing through the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, and we are working towards unlocking the third game, Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. So every donation helps that. You also can commission two different types of episodes. You can commission a regular episode with the whole group getting together to discuss your favorite game. You also can commission a JRPG canon episode. I haven't actually finished any of those yet. I'm working on them. 4 podcasts a week is a little past my limit, but whatever. So force me to work myself into the ground and commission those. And for those, I play basically what would be the first episode of an RPG book club episode. And I talk about more of the game design and storytelling about the games and why they're important and why they're cool and things that the game does that I really like. Less of a book club, less of a review, more of a like dissection of the first couple of bits. So if you like any of those, you can commission them, and any donation you get will give you access to our Book Club no Kaseki series, where me, Bernard, and Matt are working our way through the entirety of the Kaseki 10. Well, now they're up to 12, whatever 12ology. We're working our way through that. And we might end up having to take a break because Nisa is taking forever to release the Geofront versions of these games. And at first we were just going to play we all bought Chinese and Japanese copies of the games to put the Geofront translation on, but the Geofront took their translation down. So now we can't patch the versions that we have. So we have to wait for the English version to come out, which is going to be in like 2023. So we might swap over to playing another ridiculously long series, which would probably be the Tales of series, maybe Tales of Podcastia, but bonus episodes nonetheless. And you get access to those a month before everyone else does over on the Ko-Fi. But I think that's all that I have to say, because I didn't write my spiel, in case you couldn't tell that I'm just floundering right now. But for RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
We need to decide on an order for this. I am Etsy Sarivan.
I'm Desert.
And toodaloo, folks.
See ya.
It feels like this is going really fast.
Yeah, I noticed there at the end that it's really fast, and then I cut that one for time. That time was me not having enough time to write notes about it, not length of the episode. But
yeah, one of the best parts of it is in my memorable moments, so I'll at the very least get to cover that. Yeah,
and I figure Min Moms will be a little longer since you have the opportunity to have them from both things, and we can vamp. Here's a spoiler for behind the scenes of RPG Book Club. Every time we're like, shit, we got through that really, really fast. We then start memorable moments where we fan cast Final Fantasy VIII with SpongeBob characters or something, and we just make our Min Moms make up for the short thing. So
yeah, I remember listening to that exact episode.
Yeah, but
if only I knew how to mod.
Right.